Welcome to Walbus Anwar. Today we're talking about a statement that has certainly got people talking. Just yesterday, we saw Dato Nazifudin, son of former Prime Minister Dato Najib, make a really strong declaration about the charges against the UMNO Youth Chief, Dato Akmal. He basically said he views the legal action as, and I'm quoting here, turning the law into a tool for political struggle. Now, Akmal was charged under Section 505B of the Penal Code, which deals with statements likely to cause public fear or alarm. So hearing that claim law as a political tool, what's your initial take on that, especially in our current climate?
Well, it's a very potent claim, isn't it? It immediately frames the entire situation, not just as a legal matter, but as a political one. And that phrase, political tool, it resonates deeply in Malaysian political discourse. We've heard similar things before.
It's definitely not just a throwaway line. He's making a direct accusation about how the legal system is being perceived, at least in some circles. So this central idea law as a political weapon, how does that relate specifically to the charge against Akmal?
Okay, so Section 505B. Its stated purpose is pretty clear. Preventing the spread of stuff, false news or rumors that could genuinely cause public panic or unrest. Think things that might incite violence or widespread fear. There's a penalty up to 2 years jail or a fine. It's intended for maintaining public order.
Right, maintain order.
But Nazifudin turns that around. He asks, basically, why is this young leader, who he portrays as speaking up for people, religion, race, and nation, suddenly facing these serious charges? That question itself implies something else is going on. It suggests the motive behind the charge might not be strictly about preventing panic.
So the implication is that the charge isn't about the actual impact of the words, but maybe about silencing him.
Precisely. That's the core of the political weaponization narrative. It shifts the focus from, did Akmal break this law, to, why is this law being applied to him now? Cool. It suggests the legal action is a way to sideline a vocal figure, someone whose views perhaps challenge the status quo or certain political interests. It's a powerful way to shape public opinion.
And this is where it gets, really interesting. Nazifudin pushes it. He asks if Akmal's words actually caused any real social panic, or, he suggests, were they just kind of twisted, framed as a national security threat simply because someone didn't like his politics. What's the strategic angle there?
Oh, the strategy is key. By questioning the actual panic, he's challenging the factual basis, or at least the interpretation of the charge, saying words were twisted into a security threat because of political disagreement. That's a direct assault on the legitimacy of the action in this case. It paints Akmal not just as someone charged with a crime, but as a victim of political maneuvering.
Right. To rally support.
Exactly. It aims to get sympathy from his base and maybe even from people who are generally concerned about free speech or, perceived government overreach. It tries to undermine trust in the process, suggesting it's biased. We've seen this playbook before when political figures face legal trouble.
And Nazifudin didn't stop there. He used some very strong words: unjust, suppressive, intimidation against youth leaders. That last one, intimidation, what's the effect of that kind of language?
Using words like intimidation, especially aimed at youth leaders, is significant. Youth wings in parties are often the most energetic, sometimes the most outspoken. Accusing the authorities of intimidating them sends a specific message. Initially, it might make some younger activists hesitate, maybe think twice before speaking out so strongly. A chilling effect, potentially.
Potentially.
But, and this is important in politics, it often backfires, or rather has the opposite effect long term. It can galvanize the base. It turns the targeted person into a symbol, a kind of martyr for the cause, rallying people around them against what's seen as unfair pressure.
And he explicitly linked it beyond Akmal, didn't he, saying it's against the fighting spirit of UMNO Youth.
Yes, that's crucial. It elevates it from an individual case to an attack on the entire youth wing. UMNO Youth sees itself as the vanguard, the future of the party. So framing it this way suggests their collective voice, their activism is under threat. It sends a signal to the whole party and its future leaders.
So what does that usually do to the morale, the direction of a group like UMNO Youth when they feel targeted like this?
Well, internally, these things almost always become rallying points. Forget the legal merits for a moment. Politically, it's fuel. It reinforces group identity. It strengthens resolve. They can portray themselves as standing strong against adversity, defending their leader and their principles. It can actually boost morale in a way, creating a shared sense of purpose, a common enemy, if you like. It often leads to them becoming more vocal, not less.
Makes sense. Becomes a unifying cause.
Exactly. It turns perceived persecution into political capital.
And building on that, Nazifudin directly called for all UMNO members, especially the youth wing, to show unity, give Akmal moral and spiritual support. That public solidarity.
It's strategically vital. Showing up, making statements, demonstrating support, it sends a message of defiance. It tells opponents, the authorities, the public, we stand together. An attack on one is an attack on all. But maybe even more importantly, it reassures their own members. The party doesn't abandon its own. It prevents internal doubt or fragmentation. It projects strength.
He also brought in history, didn't he? Saying something like, this isn't the first time the law has been misused against dissent, but injustice doesn't last.
Ah, yes, the historical parallel. That's a classic rhetorical move in Malaysian politics. By saying history proves, he's likely tapping into collective memories of past political crises, maybe the Mahathir years, the Reformasi era, times when legal actions were widely seen as politically motivated.
So it normalizes it, in a way.
It does two things. It normalizes it, this is part of the struggle, we've been here before, and it offers hope. Injustice is temporary, truth will prevail. It's designed to boost morale, to tell supporters to hang tough, that this is just another chapter in a long fight, and that they'll eventually come out on top, just like supposedly they have before.
And that fiery closing. Today, they may want to silence UMNO Youth's voices, but our voices will only be louder, firmer, and braver. Long live UMNO. Long live youth. Long live the struggle. Those slogans, they carry weight here.
Huge weight. Long live UMNO. Long live the struggle. These are foundational rallying cries for the party. They evoke loyalty, history, a sense of shared identity and purpose, often linked to defending Malay interests and national sovereignty. Adding Long Live Youth specifically highlights the youth wing's role in that fight, positioning them as crucial to the future. And the defiant part, louder, firmer, braver. It's a direct response to the perceived attempt at silencing them. It turns the situation into a test of the party's resolve. It's pure political mobilization through emotional appeal.
And it seems it's moving beyond just words. We heard the UMNO Youth Penang chief, Mohamed Hilmi, has publicly backed Akmal.
Yes, and they're planning action. Hilmi announced that the Penang leadership, members, and other state youth wings plan to gather. That's a planned physical show of support.
Right. Showing up in numbers at the court. What's the significance of that specific act? It's more than just a statement.
Oh, much more. Mobilizing people to physically appear at court is a powerful political statement in itself. Firstly, it's direct support for Akmal. He sees them there, the public sees them. It shows he's not alone. Secondly, it's a message to everyone else, the judiciary, the authorities, opponents, that the party machinery is behind him, that this issue matters to them collectively.
It turns the courthouse steps into a stage.
Exactly. It politicizes the legal venue.
Yeah.
It amplifies their narrative of solidarity and defiance. It leverages the moment for maximum visibility and impact, signaling they're ready to mobilize their base.
And Hilmi's call went beyond just party members, right? He invited people from Penang, Malaysians who value justice, to come support Akmal. And he linked it to defending national dignity. That phrase, national dignity, what does that really signify in this context?
National dignity is one of those potent, slightly ambiguous phrases often used in Malaysian political rhetoric, particularly by nationalist-leaning parties. It can mean different things: sovereignty, cultural integrity, economic strength, the nation's honor. Here, connecting support for Akmal to defending national dignity is interesting. It attempts to elevate the issue beyond just party politics or a single legal case. It frames it as a matter of fundamental national principle, of honor, of justice that affects all Malaysians.
Trying to broaden the appeal.
Yes, it's a strategy to suggest that this isn't just about UMNO or Akmal, but about something bigger, upholding justice and the nation's standing. It aims to resonate beyond party lines, tapping into patriotism and a sense of collective responsibility. It frames standing with Akmal as standing up for Malaysia itself.
So it's clear how a single legal charge can spiral into this much larger narrative about justice, power, politics, history. The works, really.
It really highlights the intricate dance between law and politics in Malaysia, doesn't it? How legal processes can become stages for political battles. And it makes you think, in this kind of environment, how much do these public statements, these shows of solidarity, actually influence how people perceive justice? Do they start to blur the lines?
That's a key question. Think about this. When a court case becomes a rallying cry, a symbol for a whole movement, what does that tell us about our democracy, about how people feel they can express dissent or support? Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.